Welcome back to Pints and Punditry, and today we want to talk about La Liga because La Liga is getting underway today. And, rather than do a full preview of, all the different teams or even the best teams or where the storylines are like we did for the Premier League, there's really only one team I want to talk about, and that's Barcelona. And you've heard me, if you follow me on Twitter, follow at TotalFIFACM, or in some of the videos we've done so far, there's some frustration surrounding Barcelona, particularly for neutrals. And it's growing. It's getting worse. And, I wanted to start off by making a video that really explained what was happening at Barcelona. And I had this idea a few weeks ago, maybe a few months ago. But at this point, it has just snowballed to the point where all I want to do is make a video saying, Barcelona, who the fuck do you think you are? So that's what I'm going to do. Who the fuck do you think you are, Barcelona? That's the theme here. Let's dive in. So first, before we start swearing at one of the best clubs in Europe, we have to ask ourselves, how did we get here? How did we get to a point where one of these top, upper echelon clubs is just out there pissing everybody off, and not for the reasons clubs like PSG and Man City are pissing everybody off, which is having a ton of money to spend. No, in this case, it's because they think they have a ton of money to spend, and they don't, yet they're still operating like they do, and they have the audacity to get pissed off when people don't play along with the facade. So how did we get here? Well, it started a couple years ago when they came into some severe financial problems to the point where they were unable to re-sign club legend, soccer legend, Lionel Messi, despite both Messi and the club wanting him to come back and Messi being willing to take a substantial pay cut. But they didn't even have the funding to register him as a player, which is a formality that you have to do when you sign a player in order to register him with La Liga and put him on your roster. And La Liga has some very strict rules, and I'm not going to get into all the details here. There's plenty of really good videos out there that go into more depth. But basically, La Liga says, hey, if you're in this kind of financial trouble, if your shit's in bad enough shape, we're not going to let you register these players. And it's just pathetic that Barcelona is just acting like this isn't a problem. So how did we get here? We made some really bad financial decisions, and yet, despite all of this, Barcelona still managed to have an okay year last year. They came in second in La Liga behind Real Madrid, not really in a competitive sense. It was not a 1-2 neck and neck down to the final week sort of race the way we saw in the Premier League with Man City and Liverpool. Real Madrid ran away with it, but hey, second in La Liga, not bad. They lost in the quarters of the Copa del Rey, and they did not make it out of the group stages of the Champions League. So, that would be an okay year for some clubs. It's not an okay year for Barcelona. In fact, it's a bad year for Barcelona. But all in all, they're still a competitive team in Spain and in Europe. So this is not a Manchester United situation where they think they're still a big club, but they're not. No, they're still relevant, as evidenced by the players they've been able to acquire this offseason and are still going after. My question is, and to these players, why is it you want to go play for this club that may not pay you? And we'll get to that in a minute. So, who is Barcelona now then? Well, that's part of the problem because the answer very much depends on who you ask. If you ask them, they're fine, and they're still the Barcelona of old and one of the giants of Europe, and they're going to pay for all these players, and they're going to be just fine because they're activating these financial levers, which I'll get to in a minute, and you're going to see me get really fired up. The problem is, that's not who they are anymore. They're able to get away with it to a certain extent because a lot of players are still drawn to the lure of playing at Camp Nou and playing for Barcelona. Robert Lewandowski, who had tremendous success at Bayern, wanted out, and he wanted to go to Barcelona. Bernardo Silva from Manchester City has he's not creating the stink that Lewandowski did, but he has made it clear for a number of years now that he wants at some point to play for Barcelona. There's a draw there. I get that. They're still getting by on smoke and mirrors with that, and it's going to work for a little bit longer, but not if they keep having seasons like they did last year where they're getting knocked out early in the Champions League and they're not really competing in La Liga. The lure will go away quickly. Just ask Manchester United, because that's exactly what has happened there. But Barcelona is used to being able to bully most of European football, and it's just not happening anymore. Look at the Frankie de Jong situation. They are just treating him so unfairly and, frankly, illegally. At this point, they're trying to back out of a contract that he already willingly renegotiated and lowered and deferred money a few years ago, and now they're asking him to do it again, and he's finally saying, hell no, I'm not doing this. And now they're trying to banish him to Manchester United. He wants no part of that. Their fallback plan is Chelsea. That one might work out, but really he wants to stay, and there's nothing Barcelona can do about it. And they can threaten to bench him, they can threaten to sue him, but at the end of the day, they have zero leverage. But you'd never know it based on comments coming from club president Juan Laporta and manager and all the personnel that are in the media. You'd never know that they have no leverage to stand on. They're absolutely trying to screw one of their best players. So what is a financial lever? Because we've heard this term a lot, and this is how they have managed to sign Robert Lewandowski and Rafinha and still spent money this offseason when they're supposedly broke. Well, they are broke. This is selling future revenue and selling value in exchange for money now. This is essentially going to a check cashing service and getting an advance on your paycheck because you're late on your bills, right? They had money that was due to other clubs that they had to pay, and now they've gone out and spent even more money that they don't have, and they've done so by activating these financial levers. Well, what does that mean? Well, what they're doing is they're selling TV rights to a company called Sixth Street. And Sixth Street is a global investment firm headquartered in San Francisco. And it's a company that basically buys things they think will go up in value, which is why they bought Barcelona's TV rights. Because TV rights are where it's at, content is where it's at, and now Barcelona is selling off its content channel, its content network, basically its ability to generate future revenue just to get money now to get these players. So they've sold off 25% of their future television rights in 2 deals in June and July to Sixth Street. And then they've sold rights to their own internal content network, which is where they are connecting with fans, but more importantly, where they are generating revenue. So they're selling away future revenue to pay for things now. They are thinking short term. They are playing the short game, and this is eventually going to come back to bite them in the ass. And the really infuriating thing is that they just keep calling them financial levers as though this is, they're at a casino and they've just got a slot they can pull in front of them, and this money just magically appears. This isn't magic money. This is their money. This is their money. This is their lifeblood. This is their revenue, and they are selling the ability to make this revenue down the road just to pay for players now. What they should be doing is admitting, hey, we fucked up. We spent money we shouldn't have spent. It's coming back now to bite us, and we need to build. We need to build with some young players, some young talent, get a good coach in there. Maybe Xavi's the coach, maybe he's not. I don't really care. But build around a young core that's cheaper, frankly, and build a team that's going to grow here and get the books back in order, because this is simply not going to work. But the truly frustrating thing is their insistence that everything's fine and that they're still Barcelona and that the rest of European football should bow to them. There's been rumors about Barcelona and Bernardo Silva for years, but particularly in the last couple months. They have no money. You can't register the players you have. How the hell are you going to come pay 60, 70 million euros for Bernardo Silva? And Man City ain't afraid of you. They're not going to just give it away, right? They've got a price. Every one of their players is expendable. For the right price, they would trade any one of their players. But it ain't going to be cheap. And so Barcelona is not going to get a discount here, and they don't have the money. right? They found the money with these levers to get Lewandowski because he was desperate to get out of Bayern, and Bayern had no leverage. And yet they just keep going to the media, throwing Frankie de Jong under the bus, threatening him with lawsuits, and acting like it's everybody else's fault but their own. Barcelona, it is your fault. You have done this. You have made bad financial decisions, and now you're fucking broke. Deal with it and figure it out. So that's the most infuriating part, and it's frustrating because they'll be good again. Having Robert Lewandowski is going to make them good again, and that's infuriating because if you've caught one theme from my channel, it's I hate bad business. I hate bad business in sports, and Barcelona is bad business, and they are just doing everything wrong, and they've managed to get away with it to this point. But boy, the reckoning day is coming, and frankly, I'm gonna laugh. And it's not that I'm a Real Madrid guy. I don't even have a club that I support in La Liga. I'm a free agent. Come make a case for me, please. But I hate seeing bad business, and I hate seeing bad business be rewarded. So I will be laughing all the way to my fridge when Barcelona can't get players registered, or when they can't sign somebody they want to sign, or when this finally collapses, because this is a house of cards, and boy is it coming down. That's what I'm going to be watching for in La Liga this season. There's plenty of other great storylines out there. We'll cover it as it goes, but I want to see how Barcelona does, and I want to see how the business goes and how they do financially, because I am just waiting for this thing to come tumbling down. Thanks as always for joining us here on Pints and Punditry. This is Total FIFA Career Mode.